Hello there, welcome everybody. It's Diorama Don here with something completely different. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you know that I normally make dioramas, and I include my trusty half-track as some kind of vehicle to include into my dioramas. As you can see, it's seen better days. Lost the wheel, can't find it, and I've always threatened to make another military vehicle to use in my dioramas. I did make it wasn't a very good attempt, but I tried my best at making a Sherman tank, but you really do need the dimensions to get it right. So it was a bit of a half-assed attempt at making a tank. So I've always thought that once you've got the original Tamiya kit, you can take the measurements, obviously, from the parts that you've got to make an exact replica, which is what I've tried to do. Okay, so I've got this is the plastic Tamiya kit. It's not painted or weathered or in any way. It's just put together from the pieces in the box. And then from the pieces, I've made 3 more. If you want a tank in a diorama to be blown to pieces, big shell holes ripped through the side, or immersed in mud, or in a water scene, a muddy water scene, then these will suffice better probably than this. So I've tried to copy these tanks as best I can and as accurately as I can. If I were to do them again, I'd make a slightly better job of it. It's the same with anything. If you do something once, you'll make a better job a second time. But I'm quite pleased with the outcome. I haven't gone into great detail as to how I made these, because I'm waiting to see what response I get to this video, and if it's a good response, I'll do it again. I'll make a Sherman another time and show you exactly how I copy the Tamiya original. Okay, so let's get on with the video, and I'll show you how I went about making these 3. So I bought this from my local shopping channel, and it was the equivalent of £11 sterling, so about 14 US dollars, 11 euros. So I thought it was a reasonably good price compared to others. They seem to be a lot more expensive. So open the box, and what do you get? In actual fact, what you actually get is about £1's worth of plastic bits, and a very nice pretty cardboard box. But what you're actually paying for is the engineering behind the exquisite detail that you get on these things. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic, the minute detail, even so far as the individual suspension units for the axle. When you don't actually see any of it, by the time you've got your wheels on, you never see any of this stuff at all. But I do appreciate the cost involved in making the moulds for these things in the first place. So I'm not quibbling about the price of the thing in the first place. Okay, as long as we've got that out of the way. So what you actually get in the box are 3 pieces of plastic. When stuck together is the tank. That's it, really. The rest of the stuff in the box are wheels and tracks. Okay, that's one part, and then the rest is stuff that you stick on. But basically, there's just 3 pieces to stick together that make up the shape of the tank. So my thinking is, why can't I recreate these 3 pieces? Once I've got that, made my own version of this, then it's a case of working out how I can do this grill, how I can do this, how I can make this, and whatever else I have to stick on here or on the turret, how can I make those things myself? So that's the whole point of this exercise. So the thickness is, the thickness of the plastic is 2 millimeters. So this is 2 millimeter plastic. So I'm going to use 2 millimeter cardboard. Now, this is very difficult to bend. It's very sturdy, a very good working material to use, and just as good as the plastic. So the most easy thing to do, because you've got all the parts, you can work out the sizes of everything, and the easiest part is the base of the turret. Stick that on the card, draw around it and cut it out. So you've got that part, you've got the base of the turret. Nothing could be easier than that. So what you need to do is the rest of then the turret, and you've got the sizes and the shape of the top of the turret, that shape there, which I've cut out like so. And then for the height, oh, dropped it. I'm using 1 millimeter styrofoam. So what you do is you could just stick it on actually. Stick that on, where does that go? On the bottom like that. Stick that on the top, because there's a slight angle between the top and the bottom, so it would go about there. And then cut all around, either with a very sharp knife, or better still with a styrofoam cutter, you know, one of those electric things that cuts styrofoam or polystyrene. That will then give you the basic shape then of the turret. Okay, then all you need to do is encase it in other pieces of cardboard to make it look the same as that, until you end up with something like that. So that's all that is, a piece of polystyrene inside there, and it's cut at a slight angle, so measure it along there, and then it's score along that line there, and that will bend down, and you can make exactly the same shape then as the turret. Then all you have to do, I say all, whatever goes on there, it's a conical shape of a door, if you like, leading into the turret, which is easy to make, and then a few pieces around there, and I've used 18 gauge wire for the actual handrail, if you like, around there, and this is 18 gauge wire as well. For the turret, I've used 5 millimeter doweling, and it's what do you call it? Thinner one end than the other. I've forgotten what you call it. You can see it better on this one maybe. I just had to sand from 5 millimeter down to a thinner, I think it's 3.5 millimeters at the other end. So you make the proper shape then of the gun itself. So once it's done, I give it a coat of watered down wall filler, and you can sand that as smooth as you like, as smooth as the plastic original. Okay, so that's how I did my turret. And then for the body, there's the chassis and then the body. You can make it in one piece of card. Again, you've got all the sizes. This is parallel all the way down there. So once you've got a center line, you can work out that same parallel line. Then you can work out what the shape on the sides are. And then by the time you've scored a line down there with a sharp knife and cut this out, cut the shape out, then you can bend it and make it into this shape. Okay, so you get that. Okay, and I've just put pieces of barbecue stick along the bottom to make the axle. I don't need to put all the intricate stuff behind there because, like I say, you won't see it when it's done anyway. So there's no need to do that. But what you see on here, you just have to try somehow to replicate on your own version of it. Okay, so now we've got that. So we've got our 3 pieces. Where are we? Top, bottom, and turret. And I've made it so that you can. It's the same principle as. That's it. It's the same principle that Tamiya use to turn the turret at the top there, and do the same thing, trying to recreate everything all around to make the same design of tank. Okay, so what you then do is I've sprayed it with a what do you call it? Red oxide, which is what they were sprayed anyway before painting. So a red oxide undercoat, and then paint over with I've used this Tamiya yellow, dark yellow spray paint. Very expensive, I think, for such a small can, but it is the right colour, and spraying is so much better than painting with a brush. So what I've ended up with, if I can just lift that up, is that. Oh, I'm in a bit of a mess here. Let me move this out of the way. Bear with me, people. Don't go anywhere. I don't know if I can pull this a bit closer. So that's all I've done. The wheels and the tracks, that will have to be a different video, a separate video, because that does get a little bit more involved. But I've made the tracks and I've bought the wheels. They're not tank wheels, but I'll explain in another video how I did the wheels. Okay, but basically everything else I've just tried to copy as best I can from the parts that I have in my tank box, if you like. Okay, so I've made 3. I thought, well, if I'm going to make 1, I may as well make a few more. So I've got 3, and Tamiya very kindly have given me enough decals for four tanks. The original plastic kit plus 3 other tanks, which is what I've made. So I've got all the decals that I need for another 3 tanks. So I've finished 1. I've got 2 more to finish, and then I've got then the easy part. I've got the plastic kit to put together, which is probably going to be harder than than what I've made here. Okay, so I'll go away and make the other 2 tanks. So that will be 3 that I've made plus the Tamiya tank, and we'll see what they look like when I've done them. Okay, so bear with me and I will be back in a moment. So I put my Tamiya plastic kit together. Probably took me a couple of afternoons to do. But like I said, basically you're given the shape with the turret and the chassis and the body. By the time you've put those together, you've basically got the shape of the tank anyway, with the wheels and tracks and then all the bits and pieces to stick on. I may be making light of it. It is more difficult than that, but these took me 3 weeks. This took me a couple of afternoons. So that's the difference. I haven't painted or weathered it. I'll probably leave it as it is, depending on how this video goes, the popularity of this video. I will do other videos like this and probably go into more detail as to how I actually made these tanks. But we'll see how this video goes. But a slightly closer look at my reproductions, like for instance the tools that I made on the side there. They're made from toothpicks. So my handles are wood, which is more authentic, I think you'll find. And the metal around the top there is more authentic. All the handles are metal. The wheels are metal. So there are, and it's very much heavier as well. There's quite a bit difference in weight as well. So in some respects, it is more authentic than the plastic kit, depending on how detailed you want to make it. But you've got the sizes, you've got all the details that you need from the plastic kit. It's just a shame that you've got to buy this in the first place to get to these. But like I say, you can use these in different dioramas. If you needed a tank that is blown to pieces or stuck in 3 feet of mud, or a water scene, then you can use these, and it won't matter. It won't cost so much. These cost a matter of $1 or $2 because it's just cardboard and bits and pieces lying around. Cost is very, very small, so you can do with these what you will. You're slightly reluctant to do that quite so much with the plastic kit. Okay, so enough said. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you're interested, please let me know, and I'd like to do an American Fury tank. What do you call them? Forget the name. That type of tank. And then do I won't do 3. I won't do 3 again. I'll do one other exactly the same, or as close to exactly the same as I can to it. Okay, so that will be the next video, maybe. In the meantime, thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe to the channel. Click the like button, then click the notification bell and click all, and I've instigated the thanks button should you be so inclined. Okay, so again, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video, whatever that may be. Until then, I wish you the very best of happy modelling.